Hey guys, it is Amy, the Relocated Tourist, coming to you live once again from my office. It is Monday, March 16th, 2020. It is a beautiful, beautiful Monday here in Orlando, Florida. A quiet Monday. Today is also Moving Mondays. I actually have enjoyed the series because it's fun to kind of look back at the reasons we moved here, why we did it twice, why we moved to Florida twice, but just kind of exploring the whole gamut of it. Last week was all about the pod situation. If you haven't watched it, go watch it because it's drama upon drama. If you love the drama and you love hearing stories of people basically getting screwed and trying to work it out, there is a episode for you, so go check that out. So today I thought I would kind of deep dive into how moving affects your outer circle relationships, primarily extended family. So here's my story. So when we moved back in 2011, the first time, and then we moved again in, I'm always getting this wrong, it's 2016, 2017, there and back. Sorry, sort of like there and back again, A Hobbit's Tale. When we moved then, back in the preparation, which was 2009, 2010, we were really in the throes of, if you go read the blog, which go check that out, relocatedtourist.com, you can see the very detailed steps of how we moved to Florida. And we talk about everything from the emotional side, the physical side. And the biggest thing that I was worried about back then was leaving my extended family. So I was fortunate enough that we lived in Sheboygan and Appleton, and my parents were always in Door County or Green Bay, or Craig's parents were in Sheboygan. So we just had always this surrounding of circle kind of love and family. My brother was only actually the furthest one. He was always the one, he was in Milwaukee, he was in Minnesota, but the circle was, excuse me, contained. So I always felt good about that because when both my girls were born, I had family around me. My first home bought, the first everything, when you get married, all that good stuff, we had family that surrounded us. And so that was an important part of my children's lives, to have that stability of having the parents and grandparents, having this bond and having that very thick circle of people around you at all times, and especially emergencies. Like, if we couldn't get the kids from school or something, we could call a grandparent to come get them. Or obviously babysitting's always great, having, your parents nearby to take care of your kids. And, I had an imaginary or fantasy thought, maybe hope is a better way of saying it, that my kids would get to be raised with my brother's kids. Well, he didn't have kids till later on. So actually my brother has little ones now and mine are young adults now. So that part didn't work out, which is fine. But all that to say is that we all kind of hope that that circle stays. Most of us do. I know there's situations where people are like, no, our family isn't like that, whatever, we don't care about moving. But for me, that was a huge concern. And so I had this conversation with my mom. We were in the parking lot over at Kohl's in Appleton, and we shopped there quite a bit. And I remember just breaking down to her and just bawling and being like, I don't know how I'm gonna leave you, because she had just been this constant in my life forever. And I was so attached to my parents. I didn't realize how attached I was. I mean, Craig and I didn't run off to college. We got married young, so we just stayed around them. There was never this separation. So for me, I was really concerned about that, about just the detachment in itself, and then being out here in Florida and it's just the four of us and that's it. There's no fallback on anyone here. And we had some friends when we got here, but nothing that was concrete where we felt like, there's an emergency, we could call somebody. We just weren't. So that period, it was always very terrifying, because you just don't know like what obviously the future holds. And so that has to be a very big decision in your life about extended family and leaving them. Now, I know many people do this around the country, around the world, where they have to leave family for a job opportunity or some other type of opportunity, that you can't live around your family the rest of your life. I understand it. Just let me, preface that. But I can tell you that it was a phenomenal experience for my kids to be around that all the time. And when I look at my scrapbooks, I see all the grandparents around them and the cousins on Craig's side being, getting to know. So my girls got to grow up in a sense with the other side's family, not my side, but Craig's side. His sister has kids that are about Kieran and Emily's age now, and then they have a little one. So that side at least got to know the cousins, kind of grew up. And I remember, I would talk about it with his sister all the time. Like, can you imagine like when our kids are like 18, 19, 20, and here we are. So that was definitely a weird separation, and it's something you have to think about. So in 2011, when we got here, then, like I said, it was just like there was no fallback. I couldn't just run up the road to see my mom on a Saturday and go garage sales, or I couldn't go and visit my dad at Christmas. Like, now it's plane tickets, whenever. And we had this in our heads that when we lived in Wisconsin, that when we moved near Disney, now we don't have to worry about all that money that was spent on Disney vacations, because now we're going to be able to go travel everywhere else. Well, here's the key, folks. When you move away from family, and that was all just a hop, skip, and a jump away, and Disney now it just reverses, it just flips. So now you're spending your money to go visit family back there, or they're coming to spend money here. So you have to outweigh. You really have to seriously do the checks and balances in this whole situation with moving, for what reasons and the right reasons, and looking at the long haul, the big picture, and not the immediate picture. I know the immediate picture for us for a lot of the time was like, oh, but we'd be near the parks. Oh, but we'd be able to enjoy the magic anywhere we want. And again, yes, it does wear off. It does grow old, and you have to figure out a life around those parks. And so for me, that was really hard, because we had Emily, who was like, in the puberty stages, and she was coming here, and schools were rough on both kids when we got here, and the schools just aren't that great here. And so all that stress, and then not having I didn't have my mother to fall back on and just fall apart on, but neither did my kids and the rest of the grandparents and the cousins and whatever. And so that became hard, where Christmases we couldn't get together. We did them via Skype. And that was just awkward. And if the connection was bad, you didn't get that real connection at all. And, we'd send presents, whatever. And now you're spending a lot of money on shipping. And so we wound up doing a lot of gift cards and money going forward, because we were like, okay, this just isn't worth trying to send, shipping all these presents. And it's like $100, $150 worth of shipping. So that's something to really consider. If you're coming out here and let's say you meet the love of your life and you're having little ones, but families all like back in the Midwest or somewhere else in the country or the world, and it's just too hard to constantly be near them, whereas before it was so easy. I say wait. I think retiree couples kind of have it down right where they come, or snowbirds have it right where you can be down here, you can enjoy the parks, you can enjoy the warm weather, and then you can go back home and you still get to see your family and you can still see your area. And if you can afford to snowbird, I think snowbirds have it completely right on the money. I myself am going to be enjoying the Midwest this summer. I really don't like Florida in the summer. It's hot. It's very hot. There's not a whole lot going on at the parks that's anything. There's no real festival. There's nothing really exciting going on here. And so that's when I usually start a road trip, is during the summer. I get out, I go see family, because the heat's just too much. So and now I have to now obviously make the time and the money to go travel to see them. Also, I want to catch my mom while she's up in Wisconsin. She also snowbirds. It's just not to Florida. She snowbirds to Texas. And so I haven't gotten over there yet to visit her. But so it's just, everyone kind of moves around and does their own thing, which is great. But when we were all obviously in the same area, it was easier. And I am just fortunate that I had my girls around that environment. And I know both kids now, even as young adults, they miss, their grandparents. They miss being around them. They miss that ease of having a barbecue on a Sunday afternoon. Everyone just comes over, hangs out, and, we all just reminisce and talk and play board games or whatever. And so that, you give up something for something else, right, when you move. So just really think about your traditions, what you do with your family now, so that this is something you're thinking about in the future. Graduation parties, we got both grandparents out here. My dad wasn't able to get out here, but Craig's parents, my mom, and she was able to come out, and that was nice, so that they could see Kira graduate. Emily was homeschooled, so there's no graduation there, but we were back in Wisconsin, and so we still had a graduation party for Emily, so she at least got that. Before we left, we had a big going away party with everybody, with our church and whatnot. And that's another thing too, you're leaving if you are close to your church friends and family, and that's another home of family, you know, that you're leaving. Again, it doesn't mean you can't make new friends, but friends aren't family. There are some, I have a woman in my life who, you know, is practically a sister at this point. I do know that line, but it's still not family. It's still not your mom and dad. And so, you know, I wouldn't have, if you're asking me honestly, would I have wanted to raise my babies here? No, I wouldn't have. I love that they had seasons in Wisconsin, they had their family around them, and that everybody was located in the same area. And that's just really important in this day and age, to have family around you. Think about even what we're going through right now with the coronavirus, and not to bring that into this because, you know, years on, someone watching this, you know, this isn't going to matter, hopefully. But, you know, it's different when mom's across town and she's not sick and we're not sick and we can go visit each other and just not see anyone else. At least you're part of that. Everyone else right now is 6 states away. I can't see. Mom's over in Texas, dad's up in Wisconsin, his family was Wisconsin, Ryan's in Minnesota. Everyone's everywhere. I can't just go and see them right now. Amidst all this, you know, this craziness and unfortunate, you know, circumstances right now. So they're just things to really think about when you want to move, not just to Florida, just cross country in general. Obviously I know some people just don't have that opportunity or that blessing to be like, well, I just don't get the chance to think about it, or, you know, it's my job, I have to go. I understand, I really do. But I'm talking to those that are playing with this opportunity or this choice that they don't, it's a possibility, but it doesn't have to be. We did not have to move. Cry Work for Met, we took this opportunity and this chance to do something different. Our family was all in on it. Everyone did support us. So it's not that, but I know, again, I look at just issues and problems we've had since being in Florida and how different they would have been back in Wisconsin. I think, you know, they would have been a little more easier to take care of up there than down here because we would have had that support system. So whether you want to call it family or a support system, but you need it. You desperately need it, especially in times like these. So really definitely think about that. I know I've repeated those words, but really do, because it is a very important part of this whole entire process of moving. The emotional and psychological side of moving, people really don't want to talk about, because it's something that you really have to deep dive inside yourself and say, what do I really want to get out of this? Is it a new experience? Is it the new area? Is it new weather? Is it Disney? Is it having different opportunities? I'm all for that, because you guys know me. I'm all about spreading the joy, spreading kindness, and definitely spreading the love of adventure. But at the end of the day, when you look at your loved ones and you look at your children, you want to be able to feel good that you gave them as much as a chance and a possibility and support system for them as much as yourself. So really consider that when you're moving. So I hope this helps you guys today. Thank you for joining me for Moving Mondays. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.